This clip did not surface by accident. This story is not really about banjos, boots, or whether Beyoncé spent childhood mornings blasting country radio in Houston. This story is about timing, pressure, image architecture, and the kind of warning shot that lands without leaving fingerprints. A resurfaced clip shows Beyoncé saying Beyoncé never listened to country music. On paper, that looks like a clean hypocrisy headline. In practice, that looks like a pressure test. Somebody reached into the archive, pulled a sentence with perfect optics damage, and dropped that sentence at a moment designed to create maximum conversation with minimum legal risk. That move matters more than the sentence itself. A lazy read says Beyoncé changed lanes for money. A sharper read says somebody wanted the public staring at contradiction instead of authorship. That distinction changes everything. Music audiences always allow reinvention. Pop stars cross into dance, rock, soul, house, disco, rap, gospel, country, and back again every decade. Very few audiences punish experimentation by itself. Audiences punish mythology when archived footage slices straight through the official story. That is why this clip carries so much heat. The clip does not attack talent. The clip attacks narrative continuity. Narrative continuity keeps icons protected. Narrative collapse turns comment sections into a blood sport. That is why the first question cannot be, did Beyoncé ever have permission to make a country album? Of course Beyoncé had permission. Beyoncé earned creative freedom long ago. The useful question is, why would this footage appear after the giant rollout, after the cultural debate, after the headlines, after the Texas imagery, after the prestige framing, after the patriotic pageantry, after the platform partnerships, after the talking points? If this footage carried real strategic value during the rollout, the footage could have exploded during the rollout. Instead, the footage waited. Delay tells a story. Delay always tells a story. Archive drops follow incentives. If somebody wants public embarrassment, archive drops arrive when protection softens. If somebody wants negotiation leverage, archive drops arrive when a target believes the storm has passed. If somebody wants a reminder that vaults exist, archive drops arrive in doses small enough to deny open warfare while still producing maximum anxiety behind closed doors. That pattern fits this moment far better than the simple fan war explanation. A random viewer sees old footage. A strategic viewer sees sequencing. Now stack the details. First, an older clip circulates showing Beyoncé in a strange industry setting, sitting on a grown man's lap while Michael Jackson appears on speakerphone. Next, another archived moment circulates with Beyoncé saying Beyoncé never listened to country. Neither drop looks accidental. Both drops create embarrassment without demanding courtroom standards. Both drops invite endless reaction videos. Both drops trigger moral fog, because the material feels messy, intimate, and weird, yet the material never crosses into a clear claim that demands immediate litigation. That zone is where reputational warfare thrives. Embarrassing enough to trend. Vague enough to survive. Cheap enough to repeat. That is where the bigger angle enters. The real story may be proxy pressure, not direct attack. Proxy pressure. If somebody wanted to rattle Jay-Z, Beyoncé would be the loudest room to shake. Beyoncé is not only a superstar. Beyoncé is prestige, leverage, boardroom magnetism, elite social currency, a luxury symbol, a relationship symbol, and a moving asset inside every Jay-Z power equation. When business rooms need glamour, Beyoncé changes the temperature. When investors want proximity, Beyoncé raises the ceiling. When brands want legitimacy, Beyoncé supplies halo. Hitting that halo with low-grade humiliation sends a message without ever naming the intended recipient. That message could sound like this. Control does not belong to one camp forever. Protection has limits. Archives exist. Small leaks can become larger leaks. Humiliation can arrive in teaspoons before disaster arrives in buckets. Nothing about that message requires a formal statement. Nothing about that message requires public ownership. In elite ecosystems, suggestion often travels farther than accusation. Suggestion breeds paranoia. Paranoia breeds mistakes. Mistakes create fresh headlines. That cycle is older than streaming platforms and stronger than fan loyalty. Look at why the country clip works so well as a weapon. The clip is simple. The clip is quotable. The clip does not require long context. The clip can live inside shorts, reels, reaction posts, gossip threads, think pieces, and hostile fan edits. The clip reduces a massive artistic error into one sentence that looks incompatible with the campaign language around roots, heritage, reclamation, and cultural belonging. Once contradiction becomes the headline, explanation loses speed. Explanation needs nuance. Contradiction needs 7 words. Viral systems reward the shorter blade. And notice another brutal advantage. A contradiction clip invites ordinary viewers to feel smart. A criminal accusation makes audiences cautious. A contradiction makes audiences smug. Smug audiences share faster. Smug audiences comment longer. Smug audiences build jokes, memes, and duets because contradiction feels safe to mock. Nobody needs deep research to laugh at, "I never listened to country," sitting beside a full country-era brand expansion. That is why contradiction is a cleaner viral weapon than a dense exposé. Contradiction democratizes attack. Anyone can join. Everyone becomes an editor. That detail matters because the public often misunderstands image damage. Careers do not only crack from proven scandal. Careers also crack from repeated micro-hits that make every future move feel rehearsed, calculated, or fake. One contradiction rarely breaks an icon. A contradiction chain can sand away authenticity in public view. Once. The internet does not care about verse logistics. The internet sees 2 photos, writes a feud, and wins. So Cardi B is either securing the most viral female rap single of the year, or Cardi B is detonating 2 simmering disagreements in the most public forum available. Either outcome is reportedly good for Cardi B's brand. Cardi B cannot lose this optics game regardless. If the verse exchange goes sideways, Cardi B is still Cardi B. Cardi B still owns Cardi B's singles list and Cardi B's rollout. Cardi B is operating in the only lane where losing looks like winning. Tone-wise, Cardi B is going to want Cardi B's verse punchline heavy, quotable, and the moment where Cardi B's critics finally admit Cardi B's pen is back. GloRilla wants GloRilla to deliver a horrorcore hook. Kash Doll wants Kash Doll to deliver a southern drawl confessional. Megan Stallion wants Megan Stallion to deliver a Houston-bred bop. Each artist brings the turf. Remixes are rarely Cardi B's genre. Cardi B has reportedly decided to make Cardi B's remix an event. Cardi B's song is a summit, not just a song. Comment below. Is Cardi B going to pull Cardi B's play off? Or is Cardi B's mountain too steep to climb right now? Now let's flip the camera. Story 3. Cardi B went live this past week and discussed parenting. Cardi B said Cardi B would put Cardi B's kids in a ring, explicitly a boxing ring, and train Cardi B's kids to defend Cardi B against Cardi B's opponents. Cardi B's kids would learn how to fight so Cardi B's kids can protect Cardi B when Cardi B's enemies come for Cardi B. That sentence does not sound normal in Cardi B's context either. Something interesting happened. The same blogs that already had Cardi B on a one-way blacklist did not drag Cardi B. The same blogs that drag Cardi B's posture, Cardi B's parenting, Cardi B's voice, Cardi B's hair, Cardi B's sentences every single day posted Cardi B's livestream clip. The comment sections underneath Cardi B's clip turned into a Cardi B fan rally. Cardi B is authentic. Cardi B is every parent. Cardi B is gagged. Cardi B is the brand. Hold on to this. If those same comment section users had been reading Nicki Minaj's name in Cardi B's place, the comment section would have written something completely different. Discuss threads, opinion essays, headlines like Rap Star under fire for parenting comments. And that doesn't touch the evidence that Nicki Minaj recently did an official Byron Donno's video for the Florida governor race. Nicki Minaj did a real political maneuver that shifts civic outcomes. And the same blogs that frame Nicki Minaj's parenting with disgust framing still elected to post Nicki Minaj's political content with full bonus framing. So this is the double standard. Nicki Minaj does politics. The blogs campaign with disgust framing. Cardi B talks about box training. The blogs campaign with admiration framing. Same content. Different artist. Opposite coverage. Why? Because Cardi B's comment section drives clicks. Because Cardi B's audience reads every Cardi B headline. Because blogs pretend to be objective, but blogs really just want clicks. Which blogs are we even trusting right now? The blogs that drag Nicki Minaj? The blogs that lift Cardi B? Or the blogs that pretend to do both? The honest answer is none. The blogs work for the algorithm. The blogs don't work for the truth. Cardi B is the perfect climate to expose that industrial trap. Okay. The same blogs also post Cardi B's every step: wardrobe, vacations, dinners, court dates, social posts, birthday parties, Instagram stories that last 4 hours. The blogs post Cardi B's every breath. Cardi B's blogs actually treat Cardi B like Cardi B's firstborn. Cardi B's blogs say Cardi B is the worst and continue to cover Cardi B every single day. That contradiction is what Cardi B's audience has to accept. Stop pretending that comment sections reflect editorial opinions. Accept that the blogs are not judging Cardi B. The blogs are harvesting Cardi B. How do we respond as viewers? Ignore the framing. Look at the raw content. Look at Cardi B's livestream, at Nicki Minaj's political endorsement, at what is said about Cardi B and what is said about Nicki Minaj. We see the contradiction for what the contradiction really is: an industrial trap. Cardi B's livestream moment will linger. Cardi B's livestream moment will fuel think pieces. Cardi B's livestream moment is just the Cardi B specific version of a much larger pattern, and at the same time, Cardi B's brand. Cardi B is famous for saying Cardi B's mind without a filter. Cardi B is famous for being Cardi B. Now let me pivot. This is the part that made the comment section move. JT is on the cover of Vanity Fair. JT is posing, showing body. JT is reportedly still cooking JT's debut project, reportedly close to announcing JT's album, reportedly dropping before the end of the year. Cardi B fans dragged JT the second JT's cover dropped, comparing JT's stomach to Cardi B's body, clowning JT's looks, undercutting JT's moment. JT's response? JT posed. JT smiled. JT stole the cover. JT's album rollout is reportedly different. JT working with producers outside Cardi B's circle. JT reportedly getting clean production. JT reportedly getting country nasty rap. JT is reportedly cooking a sound that will likely outperform Cardi B's last effort by a wide margin because JT's pen is considered the best pen in this entire orbit. JT is going to drop, and JT is going to drop hard. Now the Beyoncé album. Beyoncé is reportedly scrapping the Act 3 era and pushing Beyoncé's album to next year. Beyoncé tested the waters with a Jay-Z remix that flopped, a single that flopped, a remix that flopped, 3 singles, 3 flops. Beyoncé is reportedly pushing Beyoncé's album. Why does this matter to Cardi B? The industry has been comparing Cardi B to Beyoncé for years, measuring Cardi B's output against Beyoncé's, ranking Cardi B below Beyoncé forever. And now Beyoncé's own rollout is reportedly stalling. Cardi B's window is opening. Cardi B's window is opening because the supposed gold standard, the supposed queen, is reportedly delaying. The comparison Cardi B was supposed to lose is being suspended. Cardi B's third album now enters a less crowded lane and owns a broader share of climate. A major shift. And that merged mythology explains why attacks on Beyoncé feel so potent. Beyoncé is not just spouse, partner, or peer. Beyoncé is the crown image in the Carter Empire. Beyoncé softens hard power. Beyoncé beautifies ambition. Beyoncé converts suspicion into glamour. Beyoncé turns business conversations into cultural events. Any actor interested in weakening Jay-Z would naturally understand that humiliating Jay-Z in a direct street fight style might energize defenders, while humiliating Beyoncé through contradiction might create quieter panic with wider spread. The elegant attack is rarely the loudest attack. Another detail worth tracking. The country quote damages from both directions at once. Viewers who love country can say the era looked opportunistic. Viewers who defended Beyoncé's country move as cultural reclamation can feel forced into awkward explanation. Viewers who already dislike celebrity branding can say the whole rollout proved commerce over connection. Even viewers who do not care about country at all can still laugh at the mismatch. That kind of all-lane usability is rare. Great reputation attacks are portable. This clip is portable. Portable clips also invite retroactive editing of memory. Once a contradiction clip trends, audiences start revisiting every old article, every interview bite, every family defense, every press line about Texas roots, every statement about cultural lineage, and every marketing choice around the era. Memory becomes editable. Past coverage no longer feels settled. Even defenders start switching from celebration language to damage control language. The emotional temperature cools. Defensiveness rises. That is exactly how a prestige era loses narrative control after launch. And there is another reason this story deserves more than a shallow hypocrisy rant. Artists evolve. Tastes change. Relationships to genre change. Identity claims can deepen later in life. Exposure can broaden. Creative curiosity can arrive late. All of that is normal. So the real vulnerability here may not be personal contradiction in the human sense. The real vulnerability may be institutional overstatement. Once teams build a campaign that sounds absolute, archived nuance becomes lethal. A softer story might have survived. A totalizing story invites totalizing rebuttal. That is why teams around major stars usually fear old interviews more than fresh criticism. Fresh criticism can be dismissed as hate. Old interviews come stamped with the artist's own voice. The artist becomes witness against the strategy. That is devastating because audiences trust old footage more than any press release written yesterday. Old footage feels unguarded. Unguarded material feels true, even when truth inside a single clip remains incomplete. Viral culture worships the unguarded second. One raw sentence can outweigh months of controlled rollout. So where does that leave Beyoncé? Beyoncé still has the talent. Beyoncé still has the catalog. Beyoncé still has scale. Beyoncé still has loyal audiences across continents. A contradiction clip does not erase any of that. But a contradiction clip can puncture invincibility, and punctured invincibility changes the way every next move gets read. A perfume launch becomes a cash grab to critics. A whiskey push becomes opportunism to critics. A visual era becomes costume to critics. A political image becomes branding to critics. Once invincibility punctures, cynicism multiplies. Where does that leave Jay-Z? Jay-Z ends up in the frame whether Jay-Z belongs there or not, because the public does not separate Beyoncé from the business ecosystem around Jay-Z. Fair or unfair, that is the reality of merged empire optics. When archived material embarrasses Beyoncé, audiences start asking who has motive, who has vault access, who benefits from unease, who wants leverage, who wants debt repaid, who wants obedience, who wants a public reminder that nobody stays above the game forever. Jay-Z becomes the invisible addressee even when Beyoncé becomes the visible headline. And that brings this entire situation to the most uncomfortable possibility. Maybe the clip is not the event. Maybe the clip is the note slipped under the door before the event. Maybe the archive drop is saying, nothing here is catastrophic, but reach for the pattern. Maybe the sequence is telling the Carter camp that someone can embarrass the family on command. Maybe the sequence is a demonstration of access. Demonstrations of access are terrifying in any power system because demonstrations of access imply larger stores, deeper vaults, older witnesses, and a willingness to escalate. No honest commentator should claim more than available evidence allows. But no sharp commentator should ignore timing, sequence, and target selection either. Timing says intention. Sequence says curation. Target selection says strategy. Those three elements together transform this from a simple Beyoncé said one thing and later sold another thing discussion into a far darker conversation about reputational pressure, elite signaling, and the mechanics of humiliation in public view. That conversation is the real headline. So before anybody laughs too quickly, pause and watch the architecture. Somebody did not just release a clip. Somebody designed an angle. Somebody understood that a contradiction travels faster than a dossier. Somebody understood that Beyoncé carries emotional weight that Jay-Z cannot replicate. Somebody understood that embarrassment can do what accusation cannot. Somebody understood that if the public starts asking why now, the public may stumble onto a bigger truth than the clip itself. Because in high-level image warfare, the cleanest hit is rarely the most explosive hit. The cleanest hit is the hit that looks organic, sounds obvious, invites participation, avoids clear liability, and leaves the target arguing with a sentence already lodged in public memory. That is exactly what this country clip does. The clip does not need to prove a crime. The clip only needs to turn confidence into doubt and doubt into replay. Once replay starts, the dropper already won half the round. And if more archive pieces arrive, the theory gets stronger. One old clip can be random. Two old clips form coincidence with attitude. Three old clips form a campaign. If a third, fourth, or fifth piece appears, nobody should keep pretending this is internet chance doing internet things. At that point the story becomes organized release strategy, And organized release strategy means a source, a grievance, a leverage goal, or a panic move somewhere in the background. That is when Beyoncé fans should stop asking whether the internet is being mean and start asking who benefits from the drip. So the final takeaway is blunt. This is not mainly a debate about whether Beyoncé loves country. This is not mainly a debate about whether artists can switch genres. This is not mainly a debate about whether Texas identity can include contradiction. This is a debate about why carefully selected embarrassment is entering the bloodstream now, why Beyoncé keeps becoming the delivery vehicle, why Jay-Z keeps hovering in the implication cloud, and why the public keeps receiving clips that feel small on content but huge on strategic timing. That is why this moment feels eerie. Low-stakes footage is carrying high-stakes energy. A genre quote is doing empire-level damage. A 7-second archive bite is opening doors to boardroom speculation, marital speculation, industry speculation, and vault speculation. That does not happen when a clip is only a clip. That happens when a clip functions like a signal. And right now, every sign points to signal. Watch the timing. Watch the sequence. Watch the tar.